Hey everyone, it's Derek from At the Edge of the Woods, and in this week's video, we're going to be moving our runner ducks from the garage out into the yard. This was a little bit of a project as we did need to purchase a outdoor run. We decided to purchase a metal square run online and put it together and then put our duck house inside the run. So first thing we had to do was prep the area and unbox the items from the run. As we worked on getting the area set up and the run put together, we really just wanted to make sure that our ducks have plenty of space outside. So as we start putting this together, we realize we want to make sure we have another extra fenced area for them as well. We always like to make sure that our animals have plenty of space. And as we were unboxing some of this, I just thought it was pretty funny that they called the essentially chicken wire that goes around the outside of the run. It's called the big mesh, and I really thought that was funny. And we wanted to make sure that we had a secure spot for our ducks. So putting together the run, we end up attaching 4x4 posts to the bottom of it. So the run came with little garden stakes to keep it held down, but we ended up just screwing the base into some 4x4s towards the end of the project here. Overall, the project came together pretty easily. The metal run was mostly click and attach with pressure, so it wasn't a bunch of screws or anything. So it was something that was relatively easy to put together compared to some of the other things that we've done in the past. So in that regard, I was pretty happy with it. The run itself is only, I believe, 6 feet tall at the peak in the middle, so I do have to duck whenever I'm in there. Cindy's able to get in there pretty much no problem and stand up. The door to the run is also short, so we're only getting in there really when we have to deal with something in the run. So dealing with their pool or dealing with the duck house. Another challenge we ran into was we built the duck house with a hinged top so that we could get in and easily clean it out, but we didn't account for the slope of the run. And so with the duck house, when it gets put in there, it is too tall for the hinged roof to open. And so later in the video, I cut out a clean out door so that way we have easy access to cleaning out the duck house if there's any poop or anything in there and collecting eggs from the ducks. And the duck house was in our garage, housing the ducks for a little while. And to get them moved outside, we first had to get the duck house itself moved from the garage and into the yard. We had a little furniture mover dolly that we put it on to get it down on the concrete. And then once we got down there, we used some old 4x4s as skids and were able to move the run relatively easily. It wasn't super easy, but it was doable for the two of us as we're able to move it across the yard. And so we just used the 4x4s as skids and slid it over there. And it worked out pretty well, and I'm glad that we didn't just drag it through the bark and the wood chips there because that would have been really painful. And as Cindy and I put on the big mesh, we realized it came in one big roll. So you have to start in one spot, either on either side of where the door of the run is going to be, and then wrap it around. So you can see we did that here. We got it pulled pretty tight and then start zip tying it together. It came with a big bag of zip ties to get the big mesh attached to the frame. So it went pretty well, and Cindy and I were able to take care of that without too much of a hassle. And we do want our duck run to be predator proof, or as predator proof as we can. Since our ducks are still small and they're living out there, we don't want anything getting in. That we do have eagles and hawks that fly over all the time. So we have this hardware cloth, same stuff we used on the chicken run. We laid it across the top here, as you can see, to kind of protect the roof there. And this is where I realized that the roof of the duck house is going to open, and decided that we'd cut out a clean out door. After adding the hardware cloth to the top, then we added the rain cover, as it was called in the instructions, to the top of the run. So this will help keep it dry, or more dry than if we didn't have that. And then later, Cindy also goes around and adds hardware cloth to the bottom half of the run all the way around, except for the side of the greenhouse. And this is because the big mesh is really more like chicken wire. And so worried more about like a raccoon or something sticking its hand through there. And we just didn't want to have to worry about that. So we made sure to add extra hardware cloth to protect the animals. And here I am getting ready to cut out the clean out door. Since this was put together with basically just plywood, paint, and 2x4s, I knew where all the studs were. It was pretty easy for me to cut out a door. Instead of doing a hinge, we just put some braces on the back there and a handle in the middle so the door can just pop on and off. We used a latch and a barrel bolt to keep it secure, and it's working out pretty well. I'm actually pretty happy with it. It's relatively easy to use and gives us easy access into the duck house. And once we had more of the hardware cloth around the sides and the clean out put in, it was time to add the pool, and we bought some pea gravel for the ducks to walk on in their run. We saw online that other people had done something similar, and the pea gravel helps to wash away all the poop and kind of make it easy for the ducks to walk on. We didn't get any sharp rock because we don't want the ducks' webbed feet to get hurt. So the pea gravel was a nice in between. And then we got our little ducks moved out there, and they're getting used to their new area. In this little clip, they're not in the pool, but they spend the majority of their time sitting in the pool versus doing anything else. And finally, a few days after getting the duck run and duck house put together, we did add a little fenced area for them. So this goes around part of the garden here. So they've got access to the asparagus bed and the tomatoes there and some other potted plants. And they've got just a little bit more space that they can access outside the run. So we really, again, want to make sure that they have lots of space, and we plan on adding more fenced in area for them, but we need to buy more fencing and posts. So the ducks seem to be happy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you soon.